Well, happy New Year's and welcome back to another Calgary Real Estate Market update with us here at Redline TV. Today, I'm going to be discussing the market update, all the data and analysis from the month of December 2020. Number one will be the sales summary, two, the inventory story, and then I'll summarize it with the pricing picture. So with that, let's get right after it. All right, let's start off with that sales summary. Well, to kick this all off, why don't I pull up my first chart for us to look at? If you've been following these updates, you'll realize a common theme. In the back half, so the second half of 2020, our sales numbers were incredibly impressive. And did that continue through the month of December? Well, yes, as you can tell by the chart above. In fact, this December was our best selling December since going all the way back to 2007. We ended up finishing the month of December with a total of 1,199 sales. This was a whopping 40% increase over December 2019 sales figures. And not only that, it was our most improved year-over-year month of all 2020. Now, as I pull up this second chart for you, what you'll see is the sales per day over last year throughout the whole month of December. And what do you notice? We were significantly ahead all month long. And then guess what happened? The holiday season hit, and that last third of the month, we even saw a larger increase through the holidays. Now, if you've followed me before, you'll know that each market segment is not operating the same. Let me go into those details right now. The detached market, our biggest market, it saw 42.5% increase in sales. The apartment market, which has been sleepy all year long, it saw a 38% increase. Semi-detached, it's been doing well for a while. It again had an incredible month with a 39% increase. And the one that was trailing, if we can even say it, was the row houses, which only did 33% better than last year, same time. So it's safe to say all across the board, we saw significant improvement. Now you might be asking, what about the different price ranges? How are they performing? Is it the same across the board there too? Let's check out this chart that I pulled up. It's pretty rudimentary, it's pulled right from Excel, but bear with me. When you look at this, I want you to look to the far right, where I have it in bold. This chart breaks down all the different price bands. Every row on the table represents another price band. And then that far right column in bold is the percentage increase that we had in that price band over the same time last year. So if I'm to answer that question about how is it doing across all those price ranges, I think the chart tells the picture. It is double-digit increases across the entire spectrum. With all that groundwork we just laid in the sales summary, let's rip over now to the inventory story. In December, we expect one major thing to happen every year. And that's that the inventory, the total active amount of homes on the market, is to drop, and drop. This happened yet again. Not only do we expect it to drop, but it's generally the lowest point on our inventory spectrum all year long. So let's dive into those specific facts. When we started the month of December, we had 4,987 properties on the market. This was already a very low inventory balance. And specifically, this was 986 homes less on the market than last year. So how low did we go? By the end of December, on New Year's Eve, we dropped all the way down to 3,669 homes on the market. This was a near 1,300 property swing through that month. And what this resulted in is by the end of the month, we ended up with 20% less total inventory on the market as we turned the corner to 2021 than we did at this same time last year. That's a big difference. Now let me pull up this graph here. What did that equate to? I said sales were the best in December since 2007. Well, this is now the lowest inventory we've had since December 2013. All right, now let's take that graph down and whip this one up. This has all happened despite the fact that 2/3 of the month, we were listing about the same new listings as we were last year. And then the back third, we saw a massive increase, more listings to market during the holiday season in 2020 than we did in 2019. You'll see this during that graph because you'll see what I mean. About the same as last year and then a big increase near the end. Our inventory continued to fall to that -20% number because those sales, those unseasonal amount of increased sales, continued to sell through a lot of what was coming to market. Okay, again, not all property segments doing the same thing. So let me walk you through those 4 now. All right, with the detached market, total active inventory dropped all the way down to -31% from where we were last year. But we did launch 8% more new listings to market. The semi-detached market's inventory versus last year has really fallen off. It's now -39% from where we were last year at this point. Now the new listings to market, it was about flat. I think the numbers showed about 1.5 to 2% more new listings that did hit the market in December. The row house market, again, it had a significant decrease. It is sitting with 33% less inventory than at this time last year. And again, saw a bump in new listings by about 11%. And then finally, our apartment market. It of course had to do something a little different, like it has almost all of 2020. We ended up seeing that its active inventory finished the month with 2% more inventory than we were last year. But that has come closer to 0 than it did in prior months. Now we also saw a small bump in new listings with 2% more new listings to market as well. Okay, now you've seen the sales summary, we've talked about the inventory story, and now we're gonna pull it all together with our pricing picture. Now in December, year over year, it's not unnormal to see that throughout the month we will find our lowest benchmark sales price of the year during this month. We see this because inventory drops, sales numbers generally drop, and because of that, sellers get a little more motivated and we see a little bit more coming off the top when you see deals done throughout the month. So did that happen this year? That wasn't the case, not at all. Because of that super strong sales push that continued in the super low inventory, it was almost impossible to expect that our pricing would adjust downward. It stayed very steady. At a time of the year, we're expecting it to drop. The benchmark price as we finished the month of December ended up with $422,300. And that was a 1.5% increase year over year. So for a pandemic-stricken year, with maybe no end yet in sight, all the unrest and the continued fear and uncertainty, we as a society have held pretty strong. And here I am telling you, our prices have done so too. Now again, each market segment and each district in the city is performing differently. So let me pull up a few things to show you about that too. First will be this big chart that I've been using showing all 8 districts. So let me pull this up in full screen, get my face out of the way so you can kind of zoom in to the part of the city that you're a part of. Just take a quick little look at this and see how the various areas are doing differently. Okay, now the 4 separate property types. Let me go into those now. So after just completing December 2020, here are the specifics. The detached market, it saw a 3.8% increase year over year. The apartments, again, our sleepy wheel, it saw a year over year decrease of 2. Semi-detached, they went up by 1.5%. And then our row houses, basically the same. They were flat at a 0.2% change in the positive nature. So in summary, as I wrap up the stats section, lots of positive news all across the board. Despite the pandemic, despite the pressures on us for our lives, our financials, and as Jason Kenney would say, our livelihoods. We are starting the year off with an incredibly low set of inventory, and from what it looks like, a continued bit of buyer demand pushing through the holiday season into what is normally a slower month of January. This is fueled because people still need to live. And when we go through life changes, we go through house changes. House changes are a part of all of major life changes. And then couple that with the government's programs and the interest rate lending environment is setting us up to continue some reasonable strength. We aren't sure what 2021 will bring, but for now, things seem to look pretty darn okay. Now, if you need more specific information than that about any of those price ranges, any of those locations, or the property types, as always, reach out to us so that we can get you connected with someone specialized in your type or area. Well, that's about it. Another mouthful for you. Again, I wish you a happy New Year's and an incredible start to 2021. And I also wanted to say my heartfelt thanks for your attention and willingness to listen through all of this. I wish you the best this month, and I look forward to talking to you again, well, 1 month from now.